Hey folks, today we are taking a look at a game from Stefan Feld, one of the best known game designers out there working today. And this one is La Isla, probably one of the lighter offerings from Feld. Let me show you how the game works, give you an overview of it, then we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think of this one. At the beginning of the game, you're going to set up the board here randomly. The board is made up of these tiles that have a really bizarre shape. But basically, you put them all together and they make this somewhat circular shape. And then you put all of these tokens here in the different spots indicated. And everybody gets one of these little boards. Everybody gets one cube of each color in the game. And they put those under the letter C there. You got all your little explorers. And then over here we have the board that's going to track the animal types and how far up they are on that track. There's all the different types there, and then we start with one pawn at the bottom of each. The game is going to be over when the total amount on the track over here is whatever it's indicated for the number of players. So let's say we're playing with 3 players right there. 3, it says 9. This section here in the bottom is 0 points. Any pawns in this section would be 1. Any pawns in this section would be 2, and so on. And so once the total of all these 5 equals 9 in a 3-player game, then the game's over. Alright, each round is very, very straightforward. Each player is going to get 3 cards. And the cards have 3 different pieces of information on them. And they are related to this little board here. So let's take a look at that. A means the top of the card. And so that's the only part you are going to be looking at for A. B means this bottom corner here. And C is the building action, and D is this bottom corner here. So what do? We take the board here. You figure out which one you want where. You put them face down, one in A, one in B, one in D. Not randomly like I just did. And then each player is going to reveal their A, and they are going to get that from the card. In this case, what that means is every time I get a yellow cube in the B action, I get another one. And so I'm going to take this card and stick it in here. And I have space for 3 cards, as you can see. So that means the first 3 times I do this, the first 3 rounds, I'm going to be developing some powers there. But from the 4th round on, I have to cover something up. And it's going to go away. Then in B, I'm going to get a cube of a color. And so in this case, it's the tan-colored cube. I'm going to put it right there. In C, I'm going to send my explorers out to the island. And it normally takes 2 cubes of the same color. In this case, I could do 2 tan cubes and put one of these guys on any of the tan spaces, such as this one here, this one here, this one here. And so let's say I do that, and I've put him there. It's a little hard to see. Let me put a blue guy there instead. There you go. And everybody can do that. And then lastly, we are looking at the D action, which is this corner. And so we take a look at that critter, and we're going to bump that up 1 spot. And when I do that, I get 1 point for every 1 critter of that kind I have. Okay, so how do I get them? Well, very simple. When you surround a critter on the board, let's say I later on put one of my guys there, then I have surrounded this critter here. There's a 2 in that space. That lets you know 2 things. It lets you know that that's how many spaces it requires to surround that guy, and how many points you're going to get when you nab him. So I'm going to get him, and I would get 2 victory points on the track there on the outside. And I keep him for the rest of the game, and then every time I'm the one who moves that track up, I'm going to get a victory point. During the game, at the beginning of the game, I should say, you also get a random tile here. Everybody gets 1, which counts as 2 of that type. So, whatever, let's say I got that one. Okay. And so that's how you play. And then these cards would be discarded. We rotate the start player token, which looks like that. And everybody again gets 3 cards. And you again figure out what you want to do. Just to show you a couple of the special cards here. In this case we have, whenever you move the dodos up on the track, you get a cube of your choice, any color you want. This one, whenever you move up that little hamster looking critter, you get 2 victory points on the track. This one, whenever you get a tan cube in step B, you move the track of anything up 1. This one, when you put an explorer On a gray space, you're going to get 3 victory points. And this one here, whenever you put an explorer on a space that has the rope, and the colors and the symbols, by the way, are independent of one another, you move the any one track up 1 space. So they're all basically different versions of that same thing. There's also another deck of cards, which are labeled with a number 2. Let me show you one here, like that. And they have a 2 down here instead of a 1. What that means is that the cards are a little bit more advanced, the powers are a little bit more, they have a little bit more going on. I just showed you the 1s here, but you can mix it up. You can mix the 1s and the 2, you can play with everything, you can do whatever you want to. In this case, let's say I would do, I'm going to put this card in B, because I'm going to get a bonus yellow cube out of it, because of that power there. And I want to get bonus cubes when I get 10 cubes also, so I'm going to make this my power. And then this one, well, it won't help me very much. Oh yes, it will. Ooh, look at that. That's the one I happen to have. Perfect. Pretty good hand. And so I would do it again. Again, this wouldn't have happened yet. But, so I would do A, stick this in here. B, get 2 yellow cubes, 1 and 1. C, I would now have 2 more yellow cubes. So I could spend 2 and put out a guy here, let's say. And then my D, I move that up here on the track. And I get 1 point per each of these. In this case, this counts as 2, don't forget. So I would get 2 points. You keep doing that until the total over there is met, depending on the number of players. Whoever has the most points at that point is the winner, with a couple of extra scoring bits at the end of the game. And that's how you play La Isla. When I first saw La Isla, I thought the board looked like a mess. The board just, it was one of those things that sounds good in concept, but the look of it, everything's sort of that opaque green and muted, and it was hard to get into it. However, once I got past that, once I played the game and I could see everything well, I understood what meant what was adjacent to what, then that problem went away. And I really enjoyed the game, even from the first time, even with that visual issue a little bit. I did enjoy the game right from the first time. The game can be very dry. I don't think the theme necessarily helps very much. It's a nice theme. It's appropriate, it's neat, but the game feels very, very dry. It's, you know, it's clearly an abstracted board that they attempt to make look cool, but you can see the geometry there. However, the game gets away with that dry feel because it's so quick and light and breezy. It moves along at a great pace. You grab your 3 cards, you figure out what you want to do with them, boom, boom, boom. You resolve your 4 phases there, and you do it again. And it's got this nice clip to it that just works great. The game's over right when you want it to be over. It's not too long. There's a little bit of scoring at the end, which I like also. If you make a set of every animal, for example, you get bonus 10 points for each set of each. For a set of all 5, I should say. And it's a nicely balanced, well put together game. I like the way the game scales. I've played with all different number of players, and I think you can't really tell the difference, largely because the game is somewhat solitaire, right? I mean, you can compete for a spot with someone else because you could share a spot with your explorers. So from there, you can go there too. And if you surround something before I do, well, you get it. And I might have wasted that explorer. I have to move him later. But that's it. It's pretty solitaire. But I don't mind because, like I said, I love the bouncy feel of this game. It's not a typical felt at all. If you are looking for a lighter felt that plays quick, has just a nice breezy quality to it, which is rare in his games, well, I would recommend you check this one out, La Isla. I like it. I think it's a keeper, and I gotta give a thumbs up. So, La Isla by Mr. Feld. Check it out.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.